followed by Standing O, tucked in at the fence in third. Big Talker fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. If I Told You, Worst Reed Sanchez, Touchdown Brown in a little bit of a tight spot between those two. And then it's a gap of 4 back to Happy Happy. They're heading toward the half-mile pole. Anita New Mercedes a length and a half. Jack Sixpack second. Standing O continues at the rail in third, about 3 lengths off the lead. Then Big Talker getting a nudge. If I Told You, Orange Sleeves at the rail. Touchdown Brown between them, and Worst Reed Sanchez 3 wide, 4.5 off the lead. It's a distance now to Happy Happy. They're approaching the quarter pole. Jack Sixpack puts his head in front at the rail. Anita New Mercedes, Big Talker coming after them, 3 wide. Worst Reed Sanchez is next. He's the gray in the center of the course. They're in the final furlong. And at the rail, Anita New Mercedes clinging desperately. Big Talker up alongside. Big Talker takes the lead. If I Told You comes out of the pack and starts to chase nicely. Big Talker has the lead, though. And Big Talker, another for Rispoli. Second goes to If I Told You. Anita New Mercedes was third. And then it was a photo for fourth that went to Standing O in front of Worst Reed Sanchez. Grand Concours Scott. And they're off. Memes and Grand Concours Guy both out quickly. So was Deservedly, who joins them. And Wall Street Trader fourth, about 3 lengths off that battle. Jibo is next with the orange colors. Inside Got Curly. Then comes Dance Company and Chris Fix at the back of the field. Heading to the half mile, Deservedly takes the lead. Has it a little more than a neck over Memes in second. 3 more Grand Concours Guy in third. Wall Street Trader 5 lengths off the lead. 4 back to Dance Company. Jibo is next. Chris Fix starting to move up now, the gray on the outside. And that leaves Got Curly at the back. Around the far turn, Deservedly at the rail. Memes battling with him. Grand Concours Guy coming after them with a nice 3 wide bid. Another 3 back to Wall Street Trader in fourth. And Dance Company in the white has 5 to make up, followed by Chris Fix. They're inside the final 1/8 of a mile. And it is Memes in between horses, Deservedly at the rail, Dance Company in the white. Grand Concours Guy keeps plugging away, and on the outside, Wall Street Trader Deservedly clinging to a narrow lead over Memes as they come to the wire. Here's Dance Company. Dance Company got them both. Deservedly, then Memes, and a 3-way battle among Chris Fix, Wall Street Trader, and Grand Concours Guy. They're in the gate, and they're off in the Santa Ana. Quiet Secretary is going out for the early lead, hugging the rail and opening up a couple of lengths. Queen Goddess came away in the top flight too, and on the outside it's Going to Vegas with Neige Blanche. Charges Dropped is on the fence. Just behind them it's Closing Remarks. Keyflower, who was off half a step slowly, is now a little bit keen, and Carpe Venum will do her running from behind. They're covered by 12 lengths by the stands the first time, and it's the long shot Quiet Secretary with a 4-length lead. Queen Goddess second. Going to Vegas settles in the perfect spot third, and Charges Dropped is just inside of her. Then comes Keyflower on the outside of Neige Blanche. Closing Remarks is next, and Carpe Venum. Around the clubhouse turn, and Quiet Secretary widens even further. It's about an 8-length lead. Queen Goddess second by 4. Going to Vegas, biding her time in third. with Charges dropped and Keyflower side by side, and Neige Blanche is just behind that pair. Then Closing Remarks and Carpe Venum is still at the back. Less than a half mile to go, and Quiet Secretary has been loose throughout. 6-length lead on Queen Goddess second. Going to Vegas, not giving her cue just yet. On the outside comes Keyflower and Charges dropped. Now, there goes Closing Remarks, starting to pass horses while 3 wide as they start to sprint for the wire. Quiet Secretary's lead diminishing. On the outside, Closing Remarks. Keyflower is in the mix too as they straighten up for home. Queen Goddess has taken the lead. Closing Remarks down on the inside, going to Vegas, needs to get off that rail. Coming to the 16th, and Queen Goddess running a giant race, has a 2-length lead close to home, and it's going to be Queen Goddess to win the Santa Ana. Tight photo for second between a Closing Neige Blanche and Going to Vegas. Closing Remarks was next, and then Keyflower. And they're off. Charge Cash is very fast, so is Fenestra, who now takes the lead. Outside of them, Encore Fu comes away in third. It's a gap of 4. Back to Fight On. Heart Full of Stars racing between rivals. Slam Dunk Sermon is on the extreme outside. Foreman in the lime colors, and Synthesis moving through pretty willingly at the rail. The distant trailer is the stretch running California Street. Fenestra cruises to the half-mile pole with a 1.5-length advantage. Charge Cash is in second, followed at the rail by Synthesis, Fight On, and Encore Fu. Then a gap of 4. California Street begins his move early. He's just 5 lengths off the lead, coming to the 3/8. Slam Dunk Sermon is next, Heart Full of Stars, and Foreman. It's Fenestra, narrowly in front. Synthesis has made steady headway to be within a neck second. Outside of them, Encore Fu is in third. Then Fight On fourth. California Street wide still has plenty of work to do. Fenestra turns for home in front. Encore Fu, Synthesis on the inside. Behind them comes Fight On in California Street. Coming to the 16th pole, Fenestra is all out. California Street is starting to pick it up nicely on the outside. And here comes California Street in the meantime. Synthesis gets away, and Synthesis wins. California Street, a hard-charging second. Then Fenestra, Fight On, and Encore Fu. They're in the gate, and they're off. Pammy's ready very quick. Delmona came away in the top flight too, and she's up with Impeached Alexander. And now here comes Hail Columbia, and Hail Columbia will duel in the early stages with Impeached Alexander. They're followed by Fluent and Delmona side by side. I Got a Gal is fifth as they run down the hill. Then comes Gem Mine, who's 6 lengths off the lead. Pammy's Ready is next, followed by She's Got Away, Graceland Gray. Dolly May is next, and She's Bulletproof is at the back of the field. They're approaching the quarter pole, and it's Hail Columbia showing the way. Leads it by a half length. Impeached Alexander, Delmona coming after them. Gem Mine is very wide. From the back of the field, She's Bulletproof has about 9 lengths to make up. As they straighten away for home, it's understandably wide open. I Got a Gal comes through inside of Delmona at the 8th pole. Delmona the leader. I Got a Gal is in second. 3 more back to Gem Mine in third. Far outside, She's Bulletproof, but it is Delmona just in front of I Got a Gal at the wire. Delmona holds on. 3 for Reese Billy today. I Got a Gal was second. Graceland Gray finished well. Then it was Gem Mine, and 5th was between Dolly May, She's Got Away, and She's Bulletproof.
If you listened to yesterday's seminar, my guest was Len Hansen, and last Saturday he turned $500 into over $8,000, actually $12,000, including prize money, plus an NHC seat. So it's obvious that we're going to promote tournaments because people can make a lot of money playing in tournaments. And of course, ExpressBet, our partner in crime, has 5 upcoming handicapping tournaments that you can play from home online. And this coming Thursday and Friday, there's going to be $80 tournaments you can participate in that are feeders into the $1,500 Florida Derby tournament coming up on Saturday. That tournament, as we look at the graphic for Saturday's tournament, will be a $1,500 tournament that will include only the races at Gulfstream Park. And of course, that's where all the money is to be made. But you can qualify for as little as $80 this coming Thursday and Friday at ExpressBet.com. And if you qualify, you'll be able to play in the $1,500 tournament next Saturday, which is Florida Derby Day at Gulfstream Park. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, VIP Player Concierge, also your seminar host for the next 40 minutes. And my partner in crime today is the one who's going to be doing all the heavy lifting and all the hard work. You're actually going to be going to Gulfstream Park. His name, Tyler Frausto. Tyler, welcome to the seminar.
Thank you for having me, TQ.
You're racking up the frequent flyer miles. It seems like every month you're going down to Gulfstream Park. We kind of joke that it's Eddie Loganese, but it's a labor of love. Let's face it, right? You love managing the tournaments. You love being a part of it. You've met a lot of important people and a lot of people you've actually now consider friends as a result of being the backbone for the tournaments.
Without a doubt. Tournament world is a whole different society in horse racing, without a doubt. This community comes together. They're competing against one another, but yet they're all friends with one another. They're all competing for the same prize, but they're all cheering each other on. It makes no sense, but it's a beautiful community.
Win or lose, right? They never seem to really lose their composure. In other words, if they lose, they're still the same people. If they win, sure, they might have an extra smile on their face and maybe a few extra dollars in their pocket. But like you said, it's kind of like a friendly rivalry.
It most definitely is, and I enjoy being around those people. They're definitely a great part of the community here at the racetrack.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tyler, because you mentioned that you enjoy being around them, and I enjoy being around them as well. But one of the reasons why I like hanging out with them is you learn new things as a handicapper, right? Obviously, they're some of the brightest minds in the handicapping world, and whether it's Dylan Donnelly or Len Hansen or, Tyler Hoffman, the list is endless. All these players are really, really sharp. We're the benefactors because we can pick their brain and kind of learn from them.
Yes, I most definitely have learned a thing or two. I always consider myself in the learning process every day. No matter how long I've been around, I'm still, every day it changes. There's new different tactics. There's different angles. There's everything to learn.
Now, you're relatively young compared to the rest of us, but you've been coming to the racetrack for a long time. Talk to us about the first time you ever visited a racetrack.
My first experience actually was with my grandpa in 2001. He asked me to pick a horse for him, and
I've never been to the track before.
Never been to the track. First time ever. And it was actually it was a Paul Aguirre horse, and he said it wasn't that good because of the long shot, 9-1. He put $20 on it to win, and sure enough, it won.
And you were hooked forever.
He talked it right into the winner's circle. How can I not be?
How'd your parents feel about your grandpa bringing you out to the track?
Not exactly sure. I'm not sure if they knew. It was a one-time experience, and I never came back again until Max McClellan brought me out years later in high school, about 5 or 6 years later.
And you obviously now are employed here both at San Eda and also for First Bet and Express Bet. Before that, you were one of the wagering ambassadors that kind of introduced new people to the art of wagering, so to speak, if they were a first-time visitor to the racetrack. What was that experience like being a wagering ambassador?
You said, what was it like? I still consider myself so. If I'm walking around the track and I see somebody that looks a little aimless or like it's their first time here maybe, I think it's everybody's involvement and everybody's obligation to actually just take these people in and teach them a thing or two. It could be as simple as teaching them what a show bet is or how to place their next wager. And I love it. I love introducing people to that because that's what I was. I was nobody in this industry, and my best friend brought me out here. My grandpa brought me, yes, but my best friend in high school, he brought me out here and he kind of showed me a thing or two, and it got me hooked on it.
It's a labor of love, that's for sure. Tyler Frausto in charge of all the ExpressBet.com First Bet tournaments, both online as well as at Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream Park has the Florida Derby next Saturday. There'll be a $1,500 tournament, as you heard in the opening. The following Saturday, April 9th, is San Eda Derby Day. We're also going to have a $1,500 tournament. And besides the buy-in of $1,500, of course, you're eligible to win many, many prizes, including BCBC seats, NHC seats, and Pegasus World Cup seats. So it's a lot of fun. Obviously, they'll be playing the races not only from a handicapping standpoint, but get involved with the tournament as well, because if you have a good day, you can win extra prizes as well. We're going to take a quick break, toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati, get the early program changes. There's not many, but there's a few in one specific race. Once he does that, we'll return and find out who Tyler likes on today's 9-race card. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody, on a beautiful Sunday here at the Great Race Place.
Welcome, everybody, to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast and the turf course is firm. Rail on the turf out 20 feet today. Here are the early changes. The first starts the 50-cent early pick 5. Number 6, Philosopher's Tone, is 2 pounds over. We do have a super high 5 carryover of $9,032. Second begins the early pick 4. No changes. There are no changes in the third. Blinker note in the fourth, start of the rainbow pick 6. That jackpot pool is up to $82,000. In the fifth race, start of the late pick 5. No changes. Sixth starts the late pick 4. No changes. In the seventh, overweights, number 5, Romeo's Glory, 1 pound over. 7, Candy Box, 2 pounds over. Eighth race, no high 5 wagering. Scratch 4, Tracy DiVincenzo. Scratch 5, Darling Donna. There is a revised morning line posted. Number 2, Donna Flama, 3 pounds over. No high 5 wagering. The golden hour pick 4 starts with the 8th. And in the 9th, start of the golden hour double, scratch number 1, Miss Addie Prey. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner now. Tom's special guest today is Tyler Frausto.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Tyler Frausto. He's the ownership and wagering liaison for First Bet Racing. He's obviously headquartered here at Santa Anita, but he'll be at Gulfstream Park next Saturday, not only for the Florida Derby, but also to administer the $1,500 live money tournament that they'll have on site, both at Gulfstream Park, but you can also play online at Express Bet. You can also play right here at Santa Anita. It includes all the races at Gulfstream Park on Florida Derby Day. We're tight on time because at 12:20 Pacific time, we're going to take a break and watch a workout live on the main track from Cezanne, the winner of the 7 furlong Grade 2 San Carlos, presented by FanDuel back on March 5th. He'll be working for trainer Bob Baffert on track at 12:20 p.m. So since we're a bit tight on time, Tyler, let's kind of take a quick look here at race number 1. We kick things off sprinting 5 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weight Calbreds, 3-year-olds and up. The rails today are at 20 feet. Race number 1 begins the 50-cent early pick 5. Also, there's a $9,000 super high 5 carryover. And if that's not enough information, race 1 is also a split of race number 7. 2 good races here, kicking it off in race number 1. We've got a field of 9, and the morning line favorite in the current betting choice is number 3, You Babe. 3-1 currently on the board. There's 3 runners that exit the February 21st common race. Not only the favorite, You Babe, but also number 6, Philosopher's Tone, and number 7, Hot Legs Romolo. Let's take a look at that replay back on February 21st, but before we get your thoughts on the race, Tyler.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Kid Stole a Kiss came out quickly. So did Ubabe and Orth, who are now 1-2. And down at the rail, Hot Legs Romolo is flying through to take the lead. Philosopher's Tone is also speedy, and so those two go on with it. Orth now 3rd. Ubabe a well-settled and nicely placed 4th. Another 2 back to Rocky Gibraltar. Similar margin to Center Circle. Kid Stole a Kiss on the inside of Big Wild West. Into the far turn they go. And it's Hot Legs Romolo leading by just ahead. Philosopher's Tone is 2nd, and a 3 wide Orth, 3 of them right across the course. Ubabe is in 4th. Then Rocky Gibraltar inching up a closer fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. 3 clear of Center Circle, Big Wild West, and Kid Stole a Kiss. They are at the top of the stretch. Philosopher's Tone in between, a very narrow lead. Down at the rail, Hot Legs Romolo fights on. Center of the course, Rocky Gibraltar is really starting to motor home as Orth takes the lead. Orth, Rocky Gibraltar on the outside, and Ooh Babe, a driving finish. Rocky Gibraltar, Ooh Babe, Rocky Gibraltar, and Ooh Babe in a very tight photo. Behind them, it was Orth. Center Circle was next, and then it was the battle to complete the Super High Five.
Tyler, Ooh Babe lost a desperate photo there. That's the good news. The bad news is that distance of that race we just watched the replay for was 6 furlongs. Today's distance is 5 furlongs. Does that matter, and who do you like in the race and why?
It's actually one of the things I took into account. The fact that it's shortening up, and obviously Hot Legs Romolo looked pretty good in that race. Had a little bit of a stall in the gate initially, then went to the lead, and then got a little bit of a pressure. So I like that horse a lot, shortening up at this distance. Square Eddie on the turf sprints, you got to love that.
Look for it every day, don't you?
I looked at that every day, and it had to do with a wagering ambassador, actually. But one of the first ones, Bailey, when she worked out here, she used to preach about Square Eddies and got me involved with it now, too.
You make a really good point, Tyler, because you got to always pay attention because you never know who might teach you an important handicapping nugget. We talked about maybe some of the tournament players teaching us a handicapping nugget, but it could be a fellow employee. It could be anybody at the racetrack. Kind of perk your ears up, pay attention, and all of a sudden it's something you can apply on an everyday basis.
You don't have to apply it, but the least you can do is listen.
Exactly. Well, we're listening to you. Who do you like in race 1 and why?
So I do like the 7 here as my top choice. At 4-1, I'll definitely take that price. The 7, and with due respect to the 3, I'll put the 3 as my secondary choice. Obviously, I like a little bit more of a value being a tournament player myself. So I'm definitely going to go with the 7 here, hoping the short distance kind of plays a part.
Good news for you, Tyler. Hot Legs Romolo, 4-1 on the morning line. Currently 8-1 on the board, as you can see in the graphic. Tyler likes 7 and 3 in race number 1. Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 2. 5.5 furlongs on the main track for maiden claimings with a big claiming tag price of $150,000. Take note, number 2, Indulge, as a first-time gelding. The morning line favorite, number 5, Ikigai, 9-5 on the morning line from the Ruben Alvarado barn. First time out was under the care of Simon Callahan. Now transfers Barnes. 9-5 on John White's morning line. Of course, race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. Talk to us about race 2.
I do like the 5 of it here, with JJ hopping aboard here now that Pratt's overseas.
Yeah.
My number 1 choice is the 1 Special Ride. It's Bob Baffert, first timer. If you watch the workout on XBTV, actually, you see that the last workout, the horse was already in stride. Another horse came up behind him, started going, and he seemed to already pick up some speed without much asking. So he just kept going, and then he drew off from the horse. So, and with that late kick involved, I think there's enough speed here, or people going to the lead potentially, that might set up better for this with that strong late kick. And Bob Baffert obviously is great at first-time starters.
Take a look at the breeding for number 1, Special Ride. The bad news is he's debuting as a 4-year-old, so they've had trouble getting him to the races. But take a look at the name of the dam. Those of us who have been around for a long time, Executive Privilege was a very talented runner for Pegram, Watson, and Whiteman. So it's a homebred, being a son of Candy Ride. Certainly the expectations are high, but this is a difficult race. You got horses coming back off long layoffs, taking drops down in class. A few of them are also adding Lasix as well. So even though it's a small field, difficult race to kind of decipher, at least on paper. Let's take a look at race number 3. Back on the turf course, 1 mile the distance for fillies and mares. Maiden claimers, $62,500 is the claiming tag, a field of 5. Number 2, Tomorrow is a Long Time, is the 6-5 morning line favorite. One of 2 in here, trained by trainer Richie Baltus. What say you about race 3, Tyler?
Race 3, I like the 2 horse here. I mean, it has the best drop in horse racing, right? Medal or maiden special weight down to a maiden claiming. You got to love that. 18% with this trainer, Richard Baltus here. Joe Bravo aboard. Never a bad thing on a turf race. So I'm going with the 2. 2 with the 1 behind it, Ginger Queen. They both worked out together according to Andy Harrington's workouts, and it looks like the 2 was deemed to be best over Ginger Queen. So I like that.
Tyler says it's going to be a Richie Baltus exacta 2-1-1-2 in race number 3. A couple of additional comments on top of what Tyler just discussed. Number 2, Tomorrow is a Long Time. You can see finished 3rd to Accelerina. Accelerina, a very talented filly from the Phil D'Amato barn, came back to win. And of course, there's a jockey change now from the Bug Boy over to Joe Bravo. And number 1, the Ginger Queen. She's a bit of a dainty filly. Last time out, she weighed only 938 pounds. We'll see if she puts some more weight on. She certainly ran well at the maiden 50 level. Now she takes a somewhat small jump up in class. for today's event. Race number 4 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 jackpot single ticket carryover, now up to $82,000, and we kick things off going a mile and a 16th on the main track for $25,000 claimers. Non-winners of 2 races lifetime, a field of 6, and number 6. All About the Money is the 9-5 morning line favorite. It's always all about the money at the racetrack, Tyler. Put some money in our pocket here.
Well, not a lot of money, but I'll put some, hopefully. I went with the favorite here, actually. All About the Money, 9-5 favorite. Second time off the layoff, stretching back out to a mile, in which it actually broke its maiden. And last time out, just broke a little slow and just kind of climbed. And it had a not so ideal trip for first time off a layoff, especially. Second time out, I think, hopefully has a lot of improve to show. And Diego Herrera aboard. Vladimir Serin has been pretty warmed up lately.
Incredible.
Yes. So his barn is definitely on fire. And my second choice is actually for Warren's Candyman. I think this horse has a good shot as well, improving workouts with some late kick, according to workout reports. I mean, I'd take a shot with that 5 to 1. I'd probably include both of them if I was playing a pick 5.
6 and 4 in race number 4. Pedigree note on number 4, Warren's Candyman. Full brother to Warren Showtime. You'll recall Warren Showtime earned $715,000. So certainly the breeding is there. A bit disappointing. Just 1/4/16 lifetime for Warren's Candyman. What do you do with Star Sailor? Claimed by Doug O'Neill a few races back. Now kind of taking a drop down in class. Do you consider Star Sailor, the 3 horse here, a contender in the race?
I did look at Star Sailor a little bit too. Doug O'Neill has also been really hot on his barn. I did look at that horse. I thought it had a good chance, but I might single here. Or I might go deep, and that's my problem. Like I'll either single the 6 or probably go 3, 4, 6, or then it will probably end up some other horse that I didn't have.
Additional pedigree note on number 3, Star Sailor. Of course, also disappointing, just 1/12 lifetime. But you might recall the damn Gifted Girl. She finished second in the 2013 Beverly D at Arlington Park. Somewhat surprising. They've only tried this Son of Union Rags just 2 times on the turf course. Both times were disappointing, certainly, but certainly the breeding is there for maybe one more try on the turf course. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf course. Starter allowance types. Field of 7. Morning line favorite number 3, Commander Kai, 5 to 2 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Tyler, I wanted to show a workout for number 6, Donsick from the Vladimir Serin barn. This workout was back on March 11th, and it's going to be a team drill with another Vladimir runner who's running in race number 9. In race number 9, the workmate here is number 10, Zayaret from the Vladimir Serin barn. Some things I wanted to note on this workout here on the training track. First of all, Donsick is drawn down inside, and you can see neither horse is wearing blinkers, which I found a bit unusual because when they race in the afternoon, they do wear blinkers. Both of these workers from the Serin barn are not wearing blinkers. You can also see from a size standpoint, Donsick is much smaller than the workmate. The outside horse kind of towers over him from a stature standpoint. And you can also see the exercise riders, just kind of pay attention to their arms. The exercise rider on the outside horse is really not urging the horse much at all, while the exercise rider on Donsick down on the inside is actually urging the horse a bit more. But Donsick has a lot of fight in him. You can see he never really lets the workmate go by. So it's a good work. I'd kind of consider it maybe a little bit of a maintenance work for both runners, but I wanted to show it simply because both runners are running on today's card. Donsick in race 5 and his workmate in the nightcap, race number 9, breaking from post position number 10. Having looked at that workout, Tyler, who do you like in race 5 and why?
So when looking at turf sprints also, trainer-wise, 2 of my favorite trainers on turf sprints are actually Mark Glatt and Mike Pipey. So, I think they do exceedingly well in that. And other races, of course, as well. But my number 1 pick here, and I'm going for some value here, is a 5-horse, Johnny Padres. Yes, I love that. I mean, coming off the layoff, a pretty long layoff from October, it ran a pretty decent race and ran up against a Cotopaxi, who won the first race yesterday.
Correct.
And ran pretty well, actually, in that race. So, I mean, this horse was super game late. It had a strong closing kick in that race. I think this horse will improve second time off the layoff and has a good shot. But if I'm honest, I think a handful of horses could win here. My second choice would be Highly Distorted with Mike Pipey and JJ Hernandez aboard. JJ Hernandez is a hell of a turf rider out here today.
You mentioned the Cotopaxi race, and you can see the outside 3 runners all exit that same race. And as you mentioned, Tyler, Cotopaxi came back to win for trainer Doug O'Neill in yesterday's first race. Question for you before we take a look at race number 6. Part of your title is ownership liaison. You mingle with a lot of influential people, owners and trainers up in the suites. I'm sure they kind of whisper in your ear every once in a while, hey, I like my horse, hey, I don't like my horse. But let's face it, most of the time, the intentions are well meant, but they don't know anything more than the rest of us just handicapping off the paper. You're on the inside. You can kind of vouch for that, can't you?
Yes. I mean, as what I witness a lot of from the owners is they love their horse.
As they should.
Every race. If they're outclassed or not, it doesn't matter. Just their horse is their horse, and they believe it full-heartedly and passionately. And that's the best part about this game, is seeing the passion in people's eyes when they cheer on their horses and seeing what happens when they cross the finish line.
And there's passion basically all day and all night, right? Because if you go on the backside or a Clocker's Corner in the morning, you can see the passion that all the workers on the backstretch have for the animals. I mean, there's so much love being displayed toward the horses throughout the entire 24-hour cycle of every day. I mean, these horses are so well taken care of. We have the benefit of seeing what goes on the backside in the mornings, but it's another beautiful tribute to the horses, because not only do the horses love the horses, but the employees who take care of the horses love the horses as well.
That's without a doubt, and it's easy to see. I mean, if you spend a few minutes alone with these people or just around them, anybody from the backside or trainers as well, you see how much passion goes behind that. It's not an easy task to take care of a horse 24/7, let alone, I mean, as a trainer, you have to wake up early in the morning and get out here when it's cold. And I mean, that's why we have the best turnout awards here. I mean, we take care of we give a little prize to the grooms that really groom their horses out and make them look very nice out for the races.
Not many vacations being taken by the people who work on the backside, that's for sure. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick four. It's for maiden special weights going 1 mile on the main track. There's a field of 6. There's only one 4-year-old in the field, and that's number 3, QB1. Take a look at that breeding. Beholder's very first foal, unfortunately, is now a first-time gelding in just career start number 2. The Maury Line favorite is number 5. Mauritius, I should say, 9-5 on the Maury Line from the Bob Baffert barn. Bob has 2 in here, including the expensive number 2, Bletchley Park, who they paid $2.6 million for. This could be a very key race because it looks like there's some well-bred horses in here, Tyler.
Yes, and I actually went with the Baffert horse in this race, the one that you mentioned, which is the other Baffert in this race, considering the 5 is the favorite, Morning Line at least. I think the 2 will get a lot of action, and last time out, it was back in January, ran against Happy Jack, who was, after that, became a graded stakes runner. So went in the San Felipe grade 2, got 3rd. The Robert Stakes for 5th place. This horse has been doing really well and competed against a horse that was, or it still is, on the Kentucky Derby Trail. So I'm going with the 2 here, with much respect to the other Baffert, the 5 horse.
You can see a lot of Uncle Mo influence in the pedigrees of the runners in race number 6. A few sired by Uncle Mo, also a couple sired by Nyquist as well. So certainly Uncle Mo has his stamp all over race number 6. I want to correct the pronunciation because I did watch the replay, and the favorite is pronounced Mauritius, I believe. But again, it's a difficult name for me to say. That's why track announcer Frank Miramati is the best in the business. I give him all the credit in the world. He does a difficult job and makes it look very easy. Race number 7, we're sprinting 5 furlongs in the turf course for Calbred maiden special weights. Race number 7 is a split of race number 1, and we've got a field of 9 here, Tyler. Number 2, Orth, who has had a few chances, is a 5-2 Maury Line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 7.
Yes, I took a peek at this race. I actually used Equine Edge on this race a little bit, and their top GSR, which is genetic strength rating, kind of helps me out with races that don't have a lot of background to them or first-time starters. And the top-rated horse in this race was the 4 horse, Dick Best, and it had a 5-point differential from the next leading horse, which is usually a pretty strong backing on it. And the breeding on that horse also just says that it has a good potential here, and workout's improving. I'm going with the 4 here at 3-1. Much respect to Orth, the 2 as well, 5-2.
We see on the graphic that you like 4 and 2, and you talked about Dick Best, owned by Nick Alexander and trained by Phil D'Amato. Certainly they do well with Calbreds, and this is a homebred. Dick Best certainly could improve second time out, first time on the turf course. Let's take a look at race number 8. Before we do, actually, Tyler, I want to follow up with a question you mentioned. Equine Edge is a partner of ours that we utilize a lot. We showcase some of their seminars online, free, absolutely free of charge. Let's talk a little bit more about them. What type of services do they provide to handicappers?
So they have an AI based algorithmic
AI, I mean artificial intelligence
algorithm based program that helps you kind of break down different stats on the horses. They use their own algorithms. First Bet has another artificial intelligence side of things, but what they do for us is actually they do a bunch of videos for Cal Racing. So the Golden Hour series is something that we put on our on their YouTube, and we promote it. And what they do is they go through all the races at Sandia Park and Golden Gate Fields, and they kind of help people around that are just learning, just getting a foot into horse racing.
And it's absolutely free of charge. And obviously you can watch the video and kind of, cherry pick maybe some tidbits that they throw out there and apply it to your own ticket.
Absolutely. Yep.
Speaking of the Golden Hour pick 4, it starts in race number 8. It links our last 2 races here at San Anita with the last 2 races at Golden Gate, and we kick things off sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for maiden claiming. Fillies and mares, $40,000 is the claiming tag. 2 scratches. Scratch the 4 and 5. They will not compete. Leaves us with a field of 6. The runner on the bottom, number 8, Pequina Tormento, is the revised 2-1 morning line favorite in the field. Who do you like in race 8, Tyler? Oh, sorry. Let's hold that thought for 1 second. Let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati. He'll walk us through the workup for Cezanne and Sumo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2 horses you're looking at from the Bob Baffert barn, Cezanne and Sumo. They're going to work a half mile in company. Cezanne on the outside, blue cap. Half a mile. Work in progress, half a mile. $23.12 for the quarter. The half mile in 46.92. 23.12, half in 46.92 seconds. We'll be heading back to Quigley's Corner to resume the seminar with Tyler Frausto.
Tyler, I mentioned before the workout how Frank Miramati, our track announcer, makes a difficult job look easy. Likewise, talented horses make quick times look very easy as well. Hard to believe the final clocking for that half-mile workout was 46.92. Both runners did it very impressively. Both are very talented. Of course, Cezanne, the winner of the Grade 2 San Carlos Stakes presented by FanDuel back on March 5th. Very, very talented horses. They looked like a very easy work for both horses.
It most definitely did. I mean, they both worked easily with not much asking at all.
And, you know, we talked about when we watched the workout for Doncic, always watch the exercise rider's arms, because that's what I do. I'm no workout expert, that's for sure. But as you mentioned, courtesy of xbtv.com, workouts are available on demand, absolutely free of charge. You just go to that website. It's a very valuable handicapping resource. I know you use it. It's you can't measure how important it is, because you can really get a read on a lot of first-time starters.
Yes, that's a good point. We also on ExpressBet, on our blog site on ExpressBet, we actually have Jeff Siegel's workout reports and selections on there as well, which is exclusive for all of our ExpressBet members.
And it's a good point, Tyler, because when you look at that workout report, or the report, I should say, from Jeff Siegel, he embeds the actual links to the workouts into his report. So you don't even need to go to XBTV. You just click on the link that Jeff provides and the workout automatically pops up. So there's so many pieces of handicapping information available absolutely free of charge at the sanita.com website. It kind of blows the doors off what any other tracks around the country do.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, beyond that, we've even partnered with, I believe, Equibase to give free PPs on XBTV as well. So we're trying to divulge as much free information as we can to the betting public, but sometimes too much information is too much information, but we try to give out as much as you want to pick from.
And let's not forget our friends at TripNote Pros. That's absolutely free of charge as well, not only on our website, but for the entire month of April. So, best of luck to them, because they also do a very valuable job for us handicappers, watching race replays and basically interpreting what they mean, so we don't have to spend hours and hours watching the race replays.
Yes, replays do take a lot of time, and they take all that effort out of it for us.
I'll reintroduce race number 8 that we were just going to discuss before the workouts that we just witnessed. But race number 8 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4. It links our last two races with the last two races at Golden Gate. And we kick things off here in race number 8, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track for maiden claiming Fillies and Mares in for a $40,000 tag. 2 scratches, scratch the 4 and 5, leaves us with a field of 6. The revised morning line favorite now at 2-1 is on the bottom. Number 8, Pequeña Tormenta, ridden by Diego Herrera, trained by Richie Baltas. Richie Baltas could be in store for a big day today. Give us your thoughts on race 8, Tyler.
I think so too. Richie Baltas has a good day in line, hopefully. But on the 8, I have a little bit of love for the 8, but I'm actually looking a little bit stronger at the 7. You see, JJ Hernandez rode both horses. He took this horse, the 7 here, to ride today. And it's a Craig Lewis horse, a clubhouse ride. And I think right here, second time off a layoff, has a good chance to improve. So I'm looking at the 7 with the 8 behind it.
It looks like a raise in class for number 7, Never Sway, from maiden 30 up to maiden 40. But believe it or not, when Never Sway went second back on February 11th in that maiden 30 event, the winner was actually a maiden 40 dropper. So effectively, I have a feeling maybe it was a condition book play, but maybe Craig Lewis wanted to raise up one level simply because Never Sway competed so well against that dropper in her last effort. Let's take a look at the nightcap. Race number 9 closes out the day, closes out the week. Keep in mind, live racing will resume this coming Friday here at the Gray Race Place. 9-race card begins at 1 o'clock p.m. But first things first, race 9 kicks off the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double, linking our last race with the last race at Golden Gate. And we're going 1 mile on the turf course for Fillies and Mares, non-winners of 1 other than. A field of 10 after the scratch of number 1, Miss Addie Prey, who will not compete. Morning line favorite number 6, the lightly raced Thrump's Dream, once again from the Richie Baltas barn, this time ridden by Johnny V. Lukewarm 7-2 on the morning line. I thought this was the best betting race on the card, Tyler.
I thought so as well. This race leaves to be wide open, it looks like, potentially. I have a Dylan Donnelly special in this race.
Please do tell. Dylan's a Sharpie.
He is definitely a Sharpie, and he gave me a nice pick today. The 7 horse, 12-1 right here. The best part about this horse, too, he didn't tell me why he picked it, but after watching the replay...
Don't ask any questions.
I don't ask questions. If he tells me something, I'll bet it blind. But I looked at the replay over and over and over with Thrum's Dream, and this horse had a terrible, terrible trip, got checked really hard, and got settled way back because of that checking. So this horse, and beyond that, the 6 and the 7 both have experience down the hill, which is not a lot of these horses do. And the hill, as we know, is a very unique course. So yes, moving from the inside post, the first post, outward to the 7 post, beyond that, just having a decent trip, I think, would improve this horse a lot. So I'm hoping that this horse gets home at 12-1 morning line. I mean, I'm hoping to at least get 6-1, but if I don't, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's going to take a lot of betting action. But other than that, I do like the 6 as well.
Ever Smart is hopefully going to make Tyler Frausto look smart. That's because he's giving it out as his top selection in race number 9. Number 7, Ever Smart, 12-1 on the morning line. Tyler, thanks so much for your insight today. Safe travels down to Gulfstream Park. We look forward to having you back here for the San Diego Derby in 13 days from now. And make sure you play at home on the $80 feeder tournaments this coming Thursday and Friday, expressbet.com, and of course the $1,500 main event on Florida Derby Day. Thanks so much for watching the seminar, everybody. Have fun today, make some money, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. Track is fast, turf is firm, rail on the turf at 20 feet. Here are the changes. First race, we have a super high 5 carryover of $9,032 and an overweight for number 6, 2 pounds over. In the second race, there are no changes. No changes in the third. The fourth is the start of the Rainbow 6 jackpot pool for a single ticket winner, starts with $82,000. In the fifth, we'll start the late pick 5. No changes. Sixth race begins the late pick 4. No changes. And in the seventh, number 5, Romeo's Glory, 1 pound over, and 7 Candy Box, 2 over. Eighth race, Golden Hour pick 4 starts, no high 5 wagering. Number 2, Donna Flama, 3 over. Scratch 4, Tracy DiVincenzo. Scratch 5, Darling Donna. And in the ninth, scratch number 1, Miss Addie Prey. Golden Hour double starts with the ninth. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. 23 minutes to post for race 1.
Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
It is a Sunday at the Great Race Place. Funny, feels like I should be smoking a cigar right now. All right, let's get to race number 1. It's a maiden special weight, a state-bred maiden special weight. We have 1 horse drawn on the rail, and that is Take the 210, who is a half sibling to a very nice stakes horse. Take the 101, who's trained by Brian Coroner. Take the 210. Left the gate very nicely for trainer Mike Pipey here. And you can see the rider just hustling this son of Bodemeister out of the gate. And once he's crossed over the gap there, he stands up in the iron, seemingly like his job is done. Obviously, the task here was to get out of the gate. And the exercise rider did a brilliant job of getting out of the gate. And now Take the 210, actually kind of going alongside the 210 as he runs down the backside there, just chugging along very, very nicely, not too much. This was on the 13th of March. He came back on the 21st of March and worked one more half mile. But this in of itself is a very nice work as well. He does draw the rail, so I like the fact this horse is proven to lead out of the gate. And here you see the rider just picking it up again. The gallop out is actually the best part of the work. Take the 210. I think he's live here.
Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.